What's good, everybody? Thank you all for coming to Successful the Trenches. And if you're watching this video right now, before I start, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And just follow and share this page, because this page is for everybody, anybody who in the trenches, not in the trenches, who want to look at the trenches, who want to be a part of people that's from the trenches, or it's not even about that, it's just about being part of somebody's success, journey, failures, and obstacles. So this is my first interview, and I'm excited to have you a part of this channel, Successful the Trenches, and you can follow Successful the Trenches on Instagram, exactly at Successful the Trenches. And this is my first interview, again, and I want to have and tell y'all that I'm highly excited to have this special person in this interview. And this is one of the best barbers in the city. I'm not even lying, the top, sharpest barbers in the city. And after y'all hear his story, y'all will know why and more about him. So, introduce yourself.
My name is Justin. I go by KutzbyJus on Instagram. I've been cutting hair like professionally as a barber in a barber shop for the last 4 years.
You have a lot of tattoos on your parents. Parents may be, how do you say it? Don't judge a book by its cover when it comes to somebody like you.
Right.
And they need to know why do you have so many tattoos when they first see you, because, you know.
I mean, honestly, I feel like there's definitely a lot of misconceptions when it comes to
Right.
tattoos. But for me, tattoos was just kind of a way for me to express myself. And then also, once I started getting tattoos, I kind of got not so much addicted to it, but it was like if I got something on this side, I kind of wanted my other side to match. And then I just kind of...
So it was more for art? And
it was like an art kind of thing. It was like I liked how it looked. You know, the things that I got, it kind of expressed like how I was feeling and the things I was going through at that time. So it kind of expressed...
Can you explain?
Kind of spoke for me.
When people look at you, we see a teardrop. You know, you gotta explain what those.
So for me, you know, many people, you know, there's a lot of different reasons why people get teardrops. For me, I got the teardrops because if you know me close or you my family, you know that I don't cry. Mm-hmm. But you know, I was affected along the way by certain people who, you know, I lost along the way that did make me cry. So I felt like, you know, at the time I was young, so you know, I thought it was a good idea for me to get the teardrops. But that's what it signifies for me. You know, I don't know what it signifies for everybody else.
So we just had to clear that up for anybody. Me looking at this video right now, y'all get to know why he got teardrops on his eye. How did you deal with the trauma of being in jail? And can you talk to a little bit about that? Touch on that. Because we know you. For anybody who didn't know, I'm sorry to cut you off, but for anybody who didn't know, he's been in jail. And how long have you been home?
4 years, man.
4 years. So let's talk about the trauma.
So first of all, I'm 33 years old now. The first time I went to jail, or any type of jail, was like a juvenile facility. I was 15. When I was 15, I got locked up. I did 14 months. I came home, I was 17. I think probably 3 months later, I got locked up. I got sent to boot camp. I was up there for like 4 months, came home, still 17, caught a case. This time it was upstate. I had a 5 to 10. I got a 5 to 10. Went upstate when I was 17. I came back off of my appeal. I won an appeal in 2006, and I ended up coming home in 2008. So when I came home in 2008, I was 20. I was home for 2 years. I got locked. I came home a month before my 21st birthday in 2008. I was home for a little over 2 years, and then I got locked up at 23, and I got a 5 to 10 again. But that time I did 7.5 years, and now I've been home 4 years from that. So yeah.
That's all about the trauma.
The trauma.
Touch on the trauma that people may not know that jail people face, and how did it affect you to who you are today. Right.
I mean, it affected me in a lot of ways. It kind of stays with me every day. I think now looking back, the things I learned most, trauma, how I dealt with the trauma. The way I dealt with the trauma was the best way I could. Like while I was in them situations, I kind of made the best of my situation. I already had been to prison. I had already, been to prison and back. I've been through the juvenile system. I've been through the system a few times. I've been through a bunch of jails. And I also came home and I kind of created a life. I created a life and I had a daughter. Mm-hmm. So the last time was a little different. So the trauma, the first few times I went to jail, I was a kid. My thinking was that was just a part of the game. Like that's just what happens when you live the life that I was living. So I kind of took it on the chin at that time when I was a kid. Because it was normal. You do shit, either you get caught or you don't. You get caught, you gotta sit down. So it was like I chalked it. But this time it was a little different because I had a daughter. So when I went to jail, this time it was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, not only did I fuck up, it was like, damn, like now I got a daughter out here who's gonna be wondering where I'm at. So it was like, while I was in there, this time it was like, it was the first time I had to look at like, this is not only affecting just me, because it's affecting my daughter, her mom, the rest of my family, and the rest of the people that I affected with the shit that I was getting into, like their families and shit like that. This was the first time I really like sat back and really thought about that. So the trauma with that is like, it's a different type of trauma because you gotta look yourself in the mirror. You can't, once you run out of everybody to blame, now it's like you gotta look at yourself.
Now when you look in the mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who did you see?
I didn't know who I saw for real. I didn't. I thought I was seeing, I looked at myself, it was like, yeah, that's me, but it was like, what the fuck are you doing? Because I knew I had potential. I knew I was smart. I knew I had, like, I never was like a slouch. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, why do I keep ending up here? Why do I keep ending up in this same rock bottom situation for real? So it was like, it was like harder this time. So it was like, I don't know, it was something that was like harder. So it was like, I don't never want to be here no more. You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
because your daughter.
Because of my daughter, and it was like, I was getting old, I've been doing it my whole life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was like my whole teenage life, my 20s. I got locked up when I was 23, came home 30. So it was like, it was different this time. It was way different this time.
So, a lot of people may want to know right now, listening to your story, and I'm gonna just sit there and ask it. Because we know where we come from is real hard. It's real like you gotta adjust, you gotta adapt. And for you to have a lane that you're in right now, and then why did you do some of the things you've done? Like, what happened in, like, was it your household? Was it the environment? What was the whole thing of why you was in and out of jails at 15?
I mean, it's a lot of things. I can say a lot of things. I can say the fact that I never met my father. I can say the fact that, I was raised by a single mother. I had 2 other siblings, who didn't have fathers either. So it was like, I was also a mixed kid. I was, my mom was white, my dad black. My mom did the best that she could do for us, but we were in a situation where we was living in a good neighborhood, but we were poor. She did the things that, we had the necessities for the most part, but, we were poor at the end of the day. So it was like, that kind of does something to you when you, like, can't eat the way you want to eat, or you can't, like, you can't dress the way you want to dress. Especially as a kid, you can't have toys, things for Christmas, things, as a kid, you just want things, or it might be just things that you need also. Like, it's a lot of things that could be missing. And then, at that time when you're a kid, you kind of look for something. So it was like, you know, I'm out, you know, I kind of was getting in trouble at school and things like that, and it was like,
Was it the people you looked up to?
it wasn't really the people that I looked up to, because the way I always been, I never really looked at people and kind of wanted to be like them. I always kind of wanted to figure things out myself. Even if I seen people that I thought I looked up to, I kind of wanted to figure it out for myself. Because, you know, I don't know, I just always wanted to, you know, I kind of always had to do things myself. So I kind of always just, I never really looked at other people. I just knew my situation, my life. My world was like, all right, I'm poor. All the kids, like, they come to school with nice clothes, you know, things like that. I was in a situation where, for example, my mom made too much money for us to get free lunch, but she also didn't make enough for her to give me money for lunch. You get what I'm saying? So I would go to school, and I can't get in the free lunch line because, you know, my mom made too much money. But like, I didn't go to school with money every day.
And you had siblings.
So it was like I know what I was going through. I was the oldest. Then I got a little brother, I got a little sister. So it was like, you know, they going through the same thing. I don't know how they eating every day. You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
You adjusted.
I did what I had to do, what I felt was the best or easiest, whatever I had to do to get food every day. It started off that way. It started off as like, you know, trying to get what you need and stuff like that. And then a little bit of what you want. But then, you know, you can get addicted to that. And then other things come with that because you're trying to protect that.
Right.
So it's like, and then I'm in the things that I was doing to get my money, I was selling drugs, I was robbing people. So it was like, that comes with certain things. So it's like, I'm getting into certain things. I'm carrying a gun. You know, it's a lot of things where, you know, I'm constantly in the danger of going to jail. I'm taking a risk of going to jail with the things I'm doing, how I'm carrying.
All from the one reason that people may not understand. Your circumstances and what's going on in the household can affect a kid in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And it's just like wherever you from and that's your circumstance, he's saying he understood too much, honestly. But he did understand that it was other ways to do what he had to do because he was a kid. And then he adjusted and he went into a different lifestyle that was around him, of his environment. How did it feel your most recent time getting released from jail? Because you never went back in 4 years. So your most recent time, you can remember. How did it feel?
It was scary. I was petrified. Like, one of my worst fears, even while I was in there, was like going back. So it's like instantly when you're home, it's like, damn, I just can't. I felt like this was my last chance for real. This time it was like, all right, I need to make this work this time, like, cause ain't no more fucking up. Cause it was like, not only did I have to do it for me, but for my daughter, and like, I just was tired of doing the same shit. So it was like I was scared. I can't even tell you I was confident, bro. Like, I just had faith in myself though. Like, I kind of knew, like, I knew where my headspace was at. I knew what I wanted to do. I kind of knew how I had to do it. You know, was my confidence all the way there? No, because I didn't have any idea what was going on.
How did you have no idea, but then end up being a barber? Because when you've been dealt with that hand that you had, how did you end up being a barber? Why didn't you just go back to, like you saying, and back in the streets? I don't want to use the terms, but we want to say back in the streets, back in the trenches. How you end up thinking about being a barber?
I know the first person that I cut was my celly. Like, I'll never forget it. Like, as soon as I put the blade, you know, because I wasn't having clippers in there. I'm in prison. I wasn't in a barbershop or anything like that. So I had to use a blade, like a little razor blade that you take out of a razor and put it inside of the teeth of a comb. The first time I ever tried that shit, I put it inside of the thing, put it on his head to like try to take the hair down, and I put a patch right in his shit, like immediately. Like real shit.
The first time.
First time. Like as soon as I touched
So
this,
y'all,
fuck this shit up. Like
so y'all, his first time ever trying to be a barber, it didn't go so well.
Yeah, it did.
So he's saying that to tell y'all, the first time or the second time or the third time, it's going to take some time trying to become to something that you can visualize and you think you're going to obtain. You're going to run to another obstacle. So be conscious of these times that he's saying he's failing and look at his work now is what I'm trying to get to y'all when y'all watch this interview. So
like, even though I did the patch, he didn't know. So I didn't, I just finished the cut and I kind of, figured it out as I was going on and I did the shape up and everything like that. And then I showed him the mirror. Instantly, he's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, you put a patch on my joint. I'm like, bro, but the shape up, bro. Look at the shape up.
Okay.
So he looked at the shape up. He like, all right, that joint cool, but like, you fucked my shit up. Okay. So long story short, he went out. Everybody was grinding him up. Damn, who cut you? Fucked your shit up like that. So he like, man, just fucked my shit up. Da, 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 da. I was the bid for a little second. I had to take it on the chin, whatever. I was
another one.
He was the bid, like, so yeah, it was like, it could have fucked with my confidence a little bit, but I was like, man, fuck it. I kind of was like, man, look, now it was like, I need to try it. Now I really want to do better now. Because now it was like, all right, I fucked that shit up, but I seen the potential in that shit. And then it was like, all right, then I heard everybody, everybody hating and niggas laughing at you and shit like that. And that kind of motivated me to want to make that shit look all that. Like.
So how did you deal with the hate and not let it mess you up?
See,
how did you deal with that?
I always look at hate like everybody gonna get hated on. Everybody, bro. Like every single body. The baddest bitch in the world, the richest nigga in the world, they getting hated on right now. Somebody saying some nut shit about them right now that's maybe true or untrue. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna let that fuck me up at the end of the day. I'm gonna use that hate like, all right, you know what? My pride gonna say, you know what? I don't want them to be able to say shit about me, so I'm gonna tighten up. If they grinding me up about that, that's what I'm gonna tighten up. Like, thank you, because now you're telling me where I'm loose at. So now I'm gonna tighten up that. So it's like I always just took the hate as like help, like it's helping me for real.
And
it's motivation.
What's your advice to people my age or barbers in your field if they get a bad cut? If somebody my age don't feel as confident and somebody pick on them because
man, look, I just recently got a bad review. Like literally, I just put it in my Instagram story not too long ago. I recently just got a bad review. What I did was I looked at it and I want to see where. Thank you for pointing out. Like, please tell me what I'm doing wrong, or if I mess up, I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to make mistakes along the way, but I want to learn from my mistakes. So I like, when mistakes happens or losses happen, you kind of get to sit and look at it. Because if you won the game or you just executed this the best, you're not really thinking about all of that. It kind of probably happened naturally from all the practice that you was putting in or the time that you was putting into that. But when you kind of lose track of, all the things that you practice, now you want to look at it like, damn, how didn't I make that layup when I do it all the time? You want to look at that and you want to see where you went wrong at, where you stepped wrong at, just everything. So I want to just take them losses and just look at them and see where I can learn from them. Because I've been taking losses my whole life. So it's like, all right, I've been taking loss after loss after loss, but this win, I feel like the greater the hardship, the greater the reward at the end of the day.
So y'all heard it. Y'all hear it here from Jus. Learn from your mistakes. Fight through that mistake. Take the good with the bad. Take the criticism and have tough skin, because whatever field you in and you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be your own boss, they have to take everything and charge it to the game and keep it pushing. Yeah. Keep looking forward. Like you said, I want to take it comes with wins and losses. Like this is the game.
LeBron, arguably the best player in the world. Right. He lost more finals than he won.
That's true. That's true. So I want to touch back on your past a little bit. Mm-hmm. How did growing up in the hood affect a person my age? How does it growing up in the hood affect everybody?
For someone who is your age, or going into high school, or just graduating high school, or in that high school age bracket, my mom told me when I was like 16 or 17, she was like, the decisions that you make now will dictate the rest of your life. And at the time, I'm 16, 17, I think I got this whole long life to live. I'm not trying to hear that, Mom. Like, all right, like, I'm only 16. What you talking about? But also, I thought I was grown. So it's like, you influenced by a lot. You don't really have things figured out as much as you think you do. You still kind of learning. You kind of figuring yourself out. You kind of figuring life out. So it's like, at this age, it's like, the influences that are around you affect you a lot. Your friends affect you, your family affects you, they affect your thoughts, they affect your actions and shit like that. Your environment affects you. So you kind of, just like me when I was a kid, my environment, what I saw was like a kid who doesn't know anything, about how to get money.
And as you grow up and mature.
But I'm saying a baby who doesn't really have the knowledge of money. But the only way, if he sees the person right at the end of his, his block where he goes to school every single day, if that person, that's the first person who he's seen have cash put in his hand every day, like, constantly, I always see him with cash. That's going to be the first thing, like, well, that must be how you get money, because that's the first example that I had. So it was like, that's naturally going to be the thing that you're going to go do. So at that kid, so it was like, the music you listen to, the people, your friends that you're around, the girls that you're dealing with, at that age, everything is affected, like, because it affects your outlook on life, and that's going to affect your thoughts, and then your thoughts is going to dictate your actions.
That makes sense, bro. How did you go from jail? Now, you went from a reckless person, I would say, the outside would say a reckless person. Mm-hmm. Some people say just, I don't want to touch on that, but a reckless person to owning your own shop, like going from jail to not figuring it out to now owning your own shop.
How do you get from that to this?
Yes, bro. We want to know. For sure. For me, it was like determination. It was like, and motivated. Like, I was extremely motivated. I just knew that this is it. I just was like, this is what I want to do. And I gotta dedicate everything to this. I'm not letting nothing knock me off of what I'm trying to do. And, at first it was like, I had certain goals and I had certain, I didn't have any expectations because I wasn't familiar with the world. I wasn't familiar with, how things went. I always, I just went and got my hair cut before. I never really knew, the potential in barbering. I didn't really know that aspect of it. I always loved the barbershop. It was always the vibe as a kid growing up. So anyway, when I got home, I was cutting in North Philly. I'm from West Philly, but I was cutting in North Philly because I kind of, like I said, I wanted to get out of the environment that I would do, that was the norm for me. Because in that environment that was the norm for me, I knew what, my behaviors were. So I kind of wanted to take myself out of that environment. So I went to North Philly and I started cutting hair up there. And I was catching a bus every day. I was catching, about 2 or 3 buses every day from West Philly to 29th and Susquehanna. And I was new. Nobody knew me. Nobody knew what I could do. I didn't even know what I could do. So it was like I kind of had to hustle. I kind of had to like put myself out there and just, people along the way just, kind of sat in my chair, gave me a shot, just took a chance with me. I had, people in there that were like, listen, give my young boy a shot. I had G, G from the barbershop. Shout out to G.
Shout out to G. He embraced me and he kind of like, he kind of, helped with that, like helped with promoting me and things like that and teaching me how to deal with, the everyday workings of the barbershop. It was a struggle, because I'm new. I'm fresh. I'm not, I'm good, but I'm not that good. I'm not where I'm at now. So it was like, some days it was a struggle to keep going in every day. Because, certain days I would spend maybe $10 to get on the bus, and then I might cut one person that whole day. You know, and while I'm up there, you know, I'm not home, I'm not packing a lunch. So it's like, I'm gotta feed myself up there, you know, things like that, I gotta eat. So it's like, I might make $10. You know, and I was charging $10, $15 at that time. So it was like, I might have made $20, $30, $40, like, things wasn't really, you know, things wasn't really that good financially at first. It was just like, G told me, he was like, listen, if you cut one person every day and that person returns, then every day someone new will come. Like, I mean, not someone new. So every month, you know, that person will return. Every 2 weeks, that person will return, or every 10 days, or every few days. But if you consistently cut, maybe one person, maybe you don't cut a person, but every time you do cut that one person, make that cut count. So that person will come back, and then you can create your clientele. And then over time, you know, I started cutting, and then not only was I cutting and, you know, just gaining clients, it was like I was building relationships with my clients also. It was like, you know, when I was...
So relationships count?
Relationships matter, I think, more than me being sharp. Me being sharp doesn't, I don't think that like, you know, everybody loves that I'm sharp, and that's probably why new people come to me and probably why it's easy to recommend me. But people fuck with me for real, because I really think it's the relationships that I built with my clients. You know what I'm saying? It's not really, you know, look, I got people, most of my folks is from North. I'm cutting in West Philly right now. These kids is catching Ubers, they getting rides and things like that. From, you know how many sharp barbers they ride past? It's not about that. You know what I'm saying? It's about the relationships that we built most of the time. So I think that matters more than my hand, because people was fucking with me when I wasn't this sharp. You know what I'm saying? So over time I met key people like yourself. And then I think what made me most successful was like I said, the relationships that I built. Because I got people who like you who will tell their friends, tell their family. And then it's like, that just creates a big web, you know what I'm saying, so of support. And it's genuine. So it's like they continue to come and support. That's the most important key part of
getting your shot.
Getting to be successful.
Okay.
Over my time, you know, eventually I left North Philly, I went to West Philly. Then I started going to school, and then I went to, you know, if anybody knows me, you follow me, I've been all over the city cutting. So it's like, with that, I've been around multiple different barbers and stylists and things like that, and I was able to learn from them and soak up knowledge and just customer service, cutting, just stuff that don't even have to do with barbering that helped me along the way. The business aspect, you know, just, man, I think it really all boils down to how you deal with people. Because you can be as sharp as you want, and it don't matter if nobody fuck with you. Especially in this society, it's hard to earn the trust, you know, for somebody to stamp you. It's hard to earn that. And I learned that in jail, and that was the hardest, because it was like, not only is that hard amongst your peers, but we in jail too. So it was like, once I figured that I could do that in there, it was like, I kind of took that same energy, was like, all right, I can build good relationships with these people. And out here, it's like, you don't know who you might meet. So it's like, no matter who you might meet, you're always supposed to be good to people, but it's like, man, with this, you know, this field, there's no telling who you can meet and things, and, you know, the opportunities that come along the way.
So, you touched on the connection, you touched on just networking, business opportunities. You say you went to a whole nother barbershop after you left North Philly. How do you deal with competition? How do you approach things mentally? Like, say if somebody you may think is sharper than you, I don't know, but say if somebody's sharper than you, say if somebody is you can learn from, say all these different things. How do you approach that mentally? Like, how do you
mentally? Somebody like competition. I feel like I look at competition as motivation. Okay. If I look at somebody and I say like that person's better than me, in my mind I'm like, yo, I might can learn something from her, or I just want to figure out, you know, I just want to look at them, and I can admit with somebody better than me, I still got things I can learn. So it's like, but when somebody better than me, it's like, I want to learn from that person. I want to, you know, figure it out, like how they figured it out, because it's just gonna be like, oh, that's something new I can learn. Or you know, if I see something that's different, it's like, damn, it give me an idea. It might soak up a little bit. I think all barbers who like been around other barbers or any stylists and things like that, you soak up things along the way. Like basketball players, they soak up different skill sets from different players, or they might just just learn things along the way from other people. So I think like competition, I use competition like as motivation and as like educate. As an opportunity to learn. So yeah.
Here you have it. You're getting into the juicy things that people need to succeed in life, bro. Like competition, you gotta look at it as a learning opportunity because there's going to be people out there better than you.
And you gotta know that there's people out there that's hungrier than you. You know what I'm saying? That's what
a boy down.
That's what competition is for me. You know what I'm saying? Competition is like, all right. I think as a man, it says you want to be the best. So it's like I feel like ain't no competition if you ask me. But at the in reality, you have competition. But you have to believe that you can be as good as the competition or better. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to have a game or do anything where you don't have competition? I want my, when I'm around other sharp barbers, it makes me better. If you just around, you're the best everywhere you go. I never wanted to be the best everywhere I go. But as a man, you want to be, I want to be one of the best.
Right.
I want to be considered one of the best. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just look at that and it makes me go that much harder. When I look at somebody who might be better than me, or they might, man, look, they got to figure it out. So it's like, man, look, let me get my shit together a little bit. Maybe I ain't got it all figured out. I remember, for example, I was cutting next to a barber named Shiz. His name is Shizzy Hood. Shout out to Shizzy Hood.
Shout out to Shizzy.
So I was doing a fade one day, and I'm like, man, I'm killing this fade. I'm thinking the fade, all right. I'm thinking that joint, nice. I look over at Shiz, he doing the fade, and I'm like, dang. I'm like, I'm not done. You know what I'm saying? So at the time, I'm looking at my shit, and I'm like thinking it's the best. I'm thinking that this is nice. I'm thinking it's perfect. But when I look at his, I kind of see the flaws in mine. You know what I'm saying? And I acknowledge that, like, damn, all right, you know what? That's what it's supposed to look like versus what I did right here. I did a pretty good job. I wasn't beating myself up or nothing like that. But it kind of showed me, kind of gave me motivation and kind of like gave me a vision. It kind of gave me a vision and it kind of helped me and I applied what I seen in his work to what I was doing inside of the fade.
So, do you know the term, I would rather be the dumbest in the room term than the smartest in the room? How do you feel about that statement?
I mean, I'll never want to be the dumbest in the room, but I do understand that. I do understand that analogy. I want to be around people I can learn from. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be around people who I like to teach and educate, but it's like I want to be around people that I can learn from that's going to help me or tighten, sharpen up what I've got going on, or we can, help each other type of thing. I don't want to be so I kind of understand that analogy a little bit. Yeah.
Is it hard to disconnect the trenches from being a barber?
I mean, I guess you could say it's kind of hard. I mean, you in the trenches. You cutting people from the trenches. You still, I'm still connected to the trenches. I still got family members. I'm still, that's not all the way, situated. So it's like, you still in there. It's kind of, you there. So it's like, you can be disconnected mentally from it, but physically, and you still there, and even mentally, you still there because you seeing it. You can't help but to see and just hear it, especially nowadays. You just pick your phone up, you seeing murders. So it's like, it's kind of hard to be disconnected from it. It's real life. The trenches is real life. So it's like, it's kind of hard.
How does your daughter affect the decisions that you make? Since you said it's kind of hard to disconnect from the trenches, so how do you maneuver and how do your daughter affect those decisions?
It affects it because it's like I'm conscious of what's going on. It makes me more conscious because I know I'm like living not just for myself. So it's like you gotta be conscious of your surroundings and things like that. And also, a lot of the times, I'm not saying people get what they ask for, but it's like a lot of times when you stay out of stuff and you kind of stay to yourself and your family and what's important and what's like mind your business for real, then you tend to get into less stuff. You know what I'm saying? I learned that over time because before it was like I wasn't in other people's business, but it was like I was out in the mix and I just was always around. Now it's like I'm not focusing on everything that's around me. I'm focusing on me and my family and my close loved ones and my friends. It was like my goals and maybe things like that. So it's when you kind of do that, you kind of stay out of stuff. Things don't really come your way so much. Things are I'm not saying they're unavoidable, but certain things don't happen to you when you're not getting into shit for real. So it's like I keep a conscious effort to like stay out of stuff. I kind of like, cause over the time I've seen so many things happen. So it's like I kind of know how to avoid a lot of dumb shit. So it's like I just use my head now, cause like I get tested all the time. So it's like I just think of my daughter. That's the first thing that I think of if I think about doing some dumb shit. Like if I do lose sight of. Because, I'm human. I do get angry. I get frustrated. I get stressed out and things like that. I got to think of her, though. So it's like, I can't let what I'm going through affect her for reverse.
So what conversations do you have on a daily basis with your daughter? Like, what advice do you give her? What do you tell her? Because you're watching her grow up and...
I tell her... I just like for her to be herself. You know what I'm saying? I just want her to learn who she is. You know what I'm saying? Just figure life out, what you like and things like that, and don't let other people or things in the outside influence her. I like, that's why I try to teach her. I try to teach her, things that are important, and try to like show her something different than what I seen, growing up. I like to try to show her like. Because I didn't have it there, so I try to be I try my best to show her, that she has a father and how a father should act and how a man should treat like his daughter and like his, how he should treat women and things like that, and how he should just carry himself. So I kind of like to
great advice, bro.
Give like,
it's great advice.
I try to give her like an example. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, not so much, we don't talk, sometimes you don't gotta talk. Sometimes you just gotta show them and things like that. Cause my daughter's 10, so she watches everything. She hears everything. She's conscious of what's going on. So it's like, I got, talk, she's at the point where everybody talking. So it's like, you gotta show her.
What do you tell your daughter about the police nowadays? Because we know the world we live in, it's messed up. And what do you tell your young one?
Me and my daughter, we don't really have too many conversations about the police or anything like that.
Then what would you tell somebody
nowadays you can't help but to see what's going on with the police and everything like that. My daughter's, she's aware, of what's going on. But if she was to come to ask me or, have questions or what I was, what I think my thoughts about police is like, I've always been somebody who's bad with authority and things like that. I didn't really never like police growing up. I never really had too many good encounters with police and things like that. It's a natural thing for, people coming where I'm coming from to like fear the police. Whether it wasn't, back in the day, I didn't fear that they was gonna kill me. Now it's kind of different. Like, it's like, it's different. Even as a citizen, you kind of fear police now. It's like back then, that's why I'm saying it's a little weird now. Because back then, I fear police. I kind of felt like I had a reason to fear police because, they could lock my ass up. But it's like, now it's like, I gotta worry about them murdering me out here and I ain't even doing shit. So it's like, it's a little fucked up. So it's like, I don't know what to tell her. You know what I'm saying? Except for, just to teach her life and just teach her, you know, right from wrong and things like that at the end of the day. Because you can, you know, teach somebody procedure, but nowadays it's like, man, you know, we see it every day. Somebody can just be innocent and just still get murdered in plain sight. So it's like, I just try to, man, nowadays, man, you just gotta live life the best you can. Like like what we said earlier is like, you gotta just make the best of your circumstances. So you know, as far as the police, it's like, man, you gotta live with it. It's something that's always been here, something that's always gonna be here. So it's like, you kind of gotta make the best of it. You gotta kind of hope you don't have too many encounters. You know, I'm hoping I don't have no encounters with the police. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you kind of teach her to, you know, just do right from wrong, and hopefully, you know, things won't get to the point where she has to have any interactions with the police.
So what do you think is the most effective way to stand up against police brutality in 2020?
I think that the most effective way for my people to be, you know, successful, or healthy, or just live a good life, I think we just need to stick together. I think that we need to, unite. I think that we should support each other. I think we should educate each other. I think that we should learn from each other, you know, because, you know, that's the only way that's the best way for us to be strong. You know, you're stronger in numbers. And if everybody, you know, it goes back to what we said, the environment. If everybody in the environment got, you know, a great mindset, a good mindset, or if everybody doing a little better, and everybody supporting each other, you know, with that will come, you know, success. So it's like, your circumstances, you know, the things that you're seeing every day will be different, because you wouldn't see people fighting and killing and robbing and stealing and everything every day. You would be seeing people, you know, sticking together and uniting and doing things together and teaching and learning and shit like that. So it's like, you ain't gonna wanna fucking fuck that up. Like, you see everybody over here just, they all doing great, they winning. You just gonna go over there and just shoot into the crowd for no reason? No. People getting shot every day. I might feel like I need a gun, whether I want to have a gun or not. I might feel like that because that's what's going on out here every day. So if it was a less, you know, shit going on, less, you know, more positivity, less negativity, I feel like that will help us.
If you had a conversation with somebody my age who was in the position you were in, or who's going through a struggle in life, and if you had a conversation with yourself, looking back at yourself, what would you tell the person or yourself?
I would tell myself that you gotta look at what you value, look at what's important to you. You know, like, it might be your family, it might be, you know, you might got close friends that's just like family. Think about your goals and things like that. Don't let, you know, other things distract you along the way. You know, it's not going to be easy, but you kind of got to focus in on what you want and what your potential is. You can't really, can't let your circumstances dictate her. You can't think that there's only one option. There's always more options. There's more than one way to do things, man. You got to think before you do things. You got to, you know, really map things out and just value what's important, and, you know, your thought process dictates a lot, because a lot of the decisions that I made I thought were good ideas. A lot of the things that a lot of the ways that I, you know, went to get to what I wanted to do was like bad. It was, you know, fucked up shit. So it was like, once I learned that there was good ways to do things, and there was a different way to do things, and I could be successful and kind of get to a point where I'm more successful than I was even at my best in doing the bad, I'm never going to do that shit again, because, like, I know where that's going to lead me, and I see where this is getting me just over this short amount of time, and I see the potential where it could go possibly in the future.
So y'all, this is the summary of a one-on-one talk, one-on-one interview with KutzbyJus. I feel as though he's one of the sharpest barbers in Philly, and y'all should go get a cut by him, because y'all see me post him. And I feel as though everybody who watches this video should give him at least one try and see how you like that cut. Guarantee you won't go back to the other guy. That's my advice. So, whoever watches this video, take everything down, write down your notes, make just goals and mistakes, and write those down so you won't make those same mistakes, because he gave you another look on more than what you see a barber, because a barber may be to some people just somebody who cut hair, but to you it means a lot more than that because of what you've been through and what you came from. So just take that down and aim for the stars, shoot for the moon, dream big, y'all. You can find us or me at Saucy4F. Follow the Instagram page, Success for the Trenches, and you can go buy some clothes if you need to. Got hoodies, whatever you may need at Trench Baby APL on Instagram. Let them know where to find you at.
You can follow me at KutzbyJus, KutzbyJus on Instagram. Yeah, I'm only on Instagram, and you can go download the cut at KutzbyJus on the cut at.
And how do you handle appointments? Do they walk in?
Yeah, I do appointments only. I do appointments only. So the best and easiest, fastest way to get an appointment is to go on to the cut app and download and book your appointment there. It's a free app. You can download it for free.
This is Success for the Trenches, and this is the first episode, and I'm glad y'all watching. If y'all watch to the end, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it.